everyone, how's it going? It's that nerd Ryan here, and today we're talking about Kindergarten Cop. So, just really quick, I want to do a disclaimer. This movie was one of the first movies I remember watching. I loved it as a kid. I thought it was such a funny and great movie. And actually, originally, this movie made me want to become a teacher. And I actually went through multiple years of teaching and found out it wasn't for me. But it's not because the movie did not play it well, even though there were some things that we'll talk about during this. It was just more my choice. But yeah, so I am kind of going into this movie with rose-tinted glasses. I know not a lot of people like it, but I love this movie. So anyways, let's talk about it. So we're going to sum up the movie really quick, and then I'll give my opinion. So basically, this follows John Kimball, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is obsessed over catching this drug lord. It took me forever to realize why the bad guy was the bad guy, and through context clues of watching it this time, it's because he's a drug lord. So, mind you, I haven't seen this movie in 10 years, so that's why. But yeah, so he's obsessed to where it's ruined his life, ruined his marriage, ruined his relationship with his son, and he's just obsessed. And he also is this scruffy, take no crap cop, and literally there's a point where he's walking around a mall with a gun pulled out. And I'm like, that's a little weird. But yeah, so they finally get the drug lord, who is trying to look for his ex-wife and son, and he ends up killing the informant who had a junkie girlfriend that was kind of hiding in the spot. So they use the junkie girlfriend as a witness and uncover where the son and ex-wife are, which is in Oregon. They're in California, so it's 2 states up. I believe 2 states or 1 state. I can't remember if it's Washington, Oregon, California, or Oregon, Washington, California. But anyways, besides that, so they decide to partner John up with this new person that loves to eat because they're hypoglycemic. We'll talk about why that's important in a second. And she's supposed to go undercover as a kindergarten teacher since she has experience, and John is supposed to just basically be her husband. So they go to Oregon, and she ends up getting sick from eating so much and gets the stomach flu. So John has to go in and be the teacher. At first he's terrible at it. He can't figure out how to control the kids, how to be a teacher at all, anything like that. And basically breaks 30 seconds in on the first day. In that, he then brings in his pet ferret, which doesn't have a cage or anything. Also, on that, he ditches the kids to leave them alone in their classroom. Which, I remember, you cannot do. You cannot leave the kids alone. And there's other little things like that he does that, being somebody that actually took teaching classes because of this movie, literally. It's kind of funny to point it out. But yeah, he ends up meeting this other teacher. I think she's supposed to be a 3rd grade teacher. I can't remember if they say specifically, that he ends up kind of falling for. Her son is in his class. You could see where this is leading. But then he starts trying to interview the kids to see who their dad is and what do they do. So he finds 3 suspects. One that has parents who are divorced. The dad kind of left to be with another man. The other one doesn't talk at all and is sensitive when you bring up the father. And the father's never really seen up until a point. And then one who, the teacher's son, whose dad lives in France. So after that, he finds out that the one kid that's quiet, actually his father beats him. So he ends up beating up the father at a point, which I thought was a great scene. He also ends up going on a date with the teacher where he finds out that basically the drug lord is her ex-husband finds that out right away, kind of without her even like really meaning, both them really meaning to open up. He finds out that way, and then the junkie girlfriend ends up overdosing because of the drug lord's mother cutting in something with her drugs. So that causes the drug lord to go free. When that happens, they find out, or they start heading towards Oregon, and they have to kind of blow their cover. But during this, Arnold finally finds a way to become a good teacher, where he kind of integrates his police learning in. But like, you never, besides like 2 parts, you never really see him teach anything. It's more of keeping the kids in control. It's more like a daycare than a school at this point with him. But I mean, he teaches them discipline and the Gettysburg Address. But like, there's no lesson plan through this whole thing. Which, like, watching it after going to college for a year and a half to be a teacher. Mind you, I changed my major. But still, going through and watching this, it's like there's no lesson plan, there's no nothing. But yeah, so anyways, the dad ends up showing up in Oregon. We get to see how bad of a person he is, beating up somebody to get Dominic a gift. Which I never caught this before. Dominic's not even his real name. It is Cullen Jr., named after the bad guy. But yeah, so they end up in the school. He starts a fire. And then there's this big, like, gunfight show. Well, not big. There's only, like, 6 bullets shot during this gunfight. But there's, like, a whole hostage situation with the son. Arnold ends up getting shot in the leg by Crisp, who's the main villain. And then he ends up shooting Crisp, killing him. The mom comes in, shoots Arnold in the... or the grandma comes in, shoots Arnold in the side. And is about to kill him when his partner comes in and hits her with a bat. After getting hit by her with a car. I kind of skipped that part. But yeah, and then of course they all lived happily ever after, yada yada yada. So that's like my abridged explanation of the movie. It's on Netflix till July 1st, so go and watch it if you want to. Watching this after going through and kind of like student teaching and learning how to be a teacher for the first semester, I'm not knocking like the education system, just so you know. I do want to clarify that like, I just found out teaching wasn't for me. I'm not saying that like, oh, I know how to be a teacher. I do not. I just want to clarify that before saying that. But after going through those steps on college, and after like just student teaching for a bit, they say Arnold's a good teacher in this. He's a good babysitter. Like I said, he kind of doesn't... They don't show him actually teaching. They show him doing a story time to help the kids go to bed, where he sleeps, or take a nap, where he ends up taking a nap, which you can't do. And then the Gettysburg Address thing that they present for at the play, which I'm surprised they would have kindergartners do, even if it is late in the second semester. But yeah, that, and like, after that you just see him running drills with the kids, making them march, making them be like basically little police cadets. It's like, okay, what is this for kindergarten? I remember learning how to count to 100 in kindergarten and learning colors and letters, but like, you don't see any of that in this. So yeah, I don't think he was a good teacher. I think it's a good movie. The only like major actual issue that I have with the movie, because I mean, it's understandable Arnold never learned how to teach, so why would he actually like go through lesson plans and stuff like that if he's doing it undercover? Obviously, like, if they were to, I know they made a Kindergarten Cop 2, but if they were to make an actual sequel of Arnold's character, like a year later, obviously, I feel like he would go through, like, learn how to educate kindergartners and then do it, not like keep him how he's going, and the school would probably pay for it or whatever. But my only nitpick with the actual movie is the beginning of the movie feels like it's a completely different movie. To the fact that, like, it feels like it's a trailer for another Arnold movie that then leads to Kindergarten Cop. So there are really two types of Arnold movies in the 90s, and I feel like now, too. There's the awkward comedy, so Twins, Jingle All the Way, most of this movie, Kindergarten Cop. And then you got the action movies, so like True Lies, Predator, Commando, stuff like that, you know? And I feel like the beginning of Kindergarten Cop feels like the trailer for one of his action movies. And then it goes to him doing Kindergarten Cop, then it feels more like Jingle All the Way, comedy and stuff like that. So, like, it's very jarring, it's very whiplashing to go from him acting like the Terminator to him acting like he's trying to buy his son a action figure the day before Christmas. So yeah, it was kind of whiplashy, but other than that, I really liked it. I liked all the characters. I want to say these child actors were actually, like, perfect playing kindergartners. I mean, they probably were kindergartners or, like, in elementary school. So, like, they did a great job. I mean, obviously they knew what they were doing, but, like, the little, like, comments, the parroting, obviously, there's parroting with one kid, obviously, because, like, kids shouldn't know what the kid says, which is boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. In the movie, don't kill me, but him saying that in the movie, and he's 6, obviously he's parroting that from his parents, because, like, I didn't know that kind of stuff until probably 3rd grade or whatever, obviously not kindergarten. But yeah, and, like, that, and then, like, kids just being kids, basically. It was perfect casting on these kids. Dominic did feel like he was a little too old for his age, sort of thing. Like, he was kind of acting more like a 10-year-old than a 6-year-old. But, I mean, they kind of had to write the character like that so he could stand out. But yeah, so I'm going to give this movie a 8 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. And follow me on all my social media down below. It's that Nerd Ryan telling you, have an amazing day.